Welcome to the Marriage Can Win show. We are your relationship experts, Eric and Dr. Sakisha Heilig.
Now, here at Marriage Can Win, we educate, empower, and encourage couples to embrace that marriage can win, especially when we focus on three key areas: improving your communication skills, developing sound money management skills so you're not living paycheck to paycheck, and enhancing your level of intimacy so your marriage can win. And we are excited tonight. We have been talking to you the last few months about a project that's been in our hearts. It's the Struggling to Keep the Vows project. And guess what, you guys? We are literally almost 1 week away from the book launch, for the virtual book launch. And I want you to take a moment and mark your calendars for Wednesday, September 30th at 7 p.m. That's right, Wednesday, September 30th at 7 p.m. We want to see your face in the place. We encourage you to register for this event. Now, this event is free, but you have to register to get access. So the registration website is very easy. It's bit.ly/keep the vows. Again, bit.ly/keep the vows. Now, we've been talking a lot about the family structure, but what we wanted you to understand is the importance of that family structure and this relationship to marriages today. So today, joining us on this show, we have a dynamic couple that we've partnered with. They are co-authors with us on this Struggling to Keep the Vows project. They are amazing, and they're going to share a little bit with you about themselves, and let's just talk about the project. So everybody, we want you to help us welcome Keene and Octavia Tilman. Keene and Octavia, how are you guys doing this evening?
Oh, we're doing good, and yourselves?
We're doing great. First of all, we want to thank you guys so much for just being a part of this project. You've been amazing, pushing through. I'm sure we're like, oh my goodness, I'm getting the message from this lady again. But I mean, you guys have such an amazing story. Can you just take a moment and share with the listeners just a minute or two about yourselves, like how long you've been married? Just tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Who wants to start?
Hi, everybody. My name is Keene Tilman. This is my wife, Octavia. We've been together for over 8.5 years, but we've been married for 7 years. And,
wow.
And it's a blessing. I like to say marriage is a beautiful thing, and I always tell people marriage is what you make of it. It can be a good thing, or it can be a bad thing, but the choice is on you as to what you make your marriage out to be.
Oh, that's awesome. So Octavia, you want to tell us a little bit about you? What do you do? And Keene's giving us the spiel. You've been together 8.5 years.
Is it been 8.5? I can't. Well, I know it's been
almost 9 since we met.
Oh yeah, it'll be okay. We met almost 9 years ago. We met.
Okay.
It was Christmas Eve, 2011.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was a special night. But you know that we met.
Coincidence.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was going to be my husband, or let alone I was going to start dating him. But I guess what I could share was at the time of us meeting, I was not even looking. I was not interested of dating anybody at the time. And I told him that up front. And so we just became friends. And
she pushed me away a lot.
But yeah, so
I didn't give up though.
Yeah, because of the respect of being my friend and respecting my wishes, allowed me to look at him differently and, stick to it, and then it developed to where we're at right now. So
let's not forget my first conversation over the phone. We brought God. God was in our conversation. So, so we definitely put him first.
So yeah.
So that's
and that's the key, and that's basically the key to marriage is putting God first.
Oh, wow. See, I love that. And I think
a
lot of couples, they don't do that. They don't focus on the fact that God has to be in the center of your relationship. So to us and to all of the listeners, I'm sure they're like, that's amazing, especially with your first conversation.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
Keene, you said something really interesting. You said you were persistent. You did not
Perseverance.
give up. What was it
Perseverance.
that let you know what, I just can't give up on her?
Well, early on, like I say, from the first time I saw her, she caught my attention, and then given the opportunity that I was able to say something to her, and just seeing how the conversation went. It was just funny because we met in Orlando, and did not know that both of us had lived in Sanford.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I guess. Oh, coincidence. But he looked familiar to me.
She claimed I looked like
He
somebody.
did. He looked
that
like
she
someone
knew.
I knew in the
Uh-huh.
past, like at school. I thought maybe he was somebody I maybe seen that fam.
Oh,
Okay.
I was like, oh, he looks so familiar. And I was like, where do you go to school? And then he mentioned high school, Seminole, and that's how we found out we both lived in Sanford. So, and then it went from there.
After the first conversation, I knew that I wanted to get to know her, and was hoping and expecting for it to go further than just that phone conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact too, Octavia, I, and my wife, we're all alumni from FAMU, and actually, Octavia and I, we were in the same department, Computer Information Systems, and Sakisha and I were actually blessed to actually be there to see you guys get married, doing
Yes.
and everything.
He was at the wedding.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Wedding, really beautiful. And
Good time, indeed.
I think just the fact that you kept God at the center of your marriage. And
Yes.
I looked through the wedding pictures, and there was the pictures of, I think it was the ladies, and they were standing around Octavia praying for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something about that just really hit home. So when you're a couple and you keep God at the center of your marriage, and that's one of the first things you notice. Everybody, of course, the dress was beautiful, the photos, everything about it was beautiful, but it was just that photo that I'm like, oh goodness, it was something about it you just connect with.
But it's funny you said that, because one of our PowerPoint presentations, we did a conference in Atlanta called Relationships Matter. And we talked about the power of prayer. And King, I have you and all your men praying for you as one of our PowerPoint presentations.
Awesome.
And we had to do
Wow, that was
breakout session, and I utilized you as an example of what.
Cool.
Yeah, so you famous in Atlanta.
Hey, but check it out though. Also thinking about just the title of the book, Struggling to Keep the Vows.
Yes.
And when you making your vows, you making them before God as well as all the people that are there, but you making a sacred promise and sacrament before God. And with those vows, you want to keep those vows because you made them vows before God, and that was a promise you made that was made to God as well as to that person you promised to give your all in your life, spend the rest of your life with. And if you're not fit to have that mindset, and while you're standing in front of that altar, or you having doubts about even coming close to even living by those vows, I say don't even go through the process. Don't waste your time or that person's time, because you already set the fail.
Yeah. Actually, it's 7:37. What is it, 9:00 tonight? We actually broke that down, because 9:00 tonight on our Marriage Can Win show, we actually talked about and we shared about the vows. And we talked about the statistics of who normally can't keep the vows, or they found out women or men who what it takes them the hardest to keep the vows, like for richer or poor, for better or for worse, for sickness and poor. And we had some amazing statistics that kind of surprised you.
It was really interesting.
I'm not going to tell the show, but tonight at 9
I'm waiting to hear.
Oh no! Hey, you gotta wait if you want to know. You gotta watch the show.
Yeah.
I got you. Hey, that's good publicity.
Yeah, because you're going to be on next week's show, which is next week's now. Next week.
Okay. All right. So tell us, what was it about it that attracted you guys or made you guys willing to be a part of the Struggling to Keep the Vows project?
Well, I think I had presented to him because what attracted it to me was it was something that we could do together as a couple.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really important because since beginning of our journey together, I wanted, because I'm such an entrepreneur and business minded person, and I do so many different projects, but I wanted something that we can start off together as a couple, work together as a couple, and both be interested in, and something that we both have experience in together. And I was like, I thought it was a great opportunity, and also to share our journey because I know sometimes I do get people that approach me about, how did I know he was the right one? Because they know my past experiences, and then Keene, I know he gets calls from his male friends on advice, and I thought we could share that to others. It will be a blessing.
Oh,
Okay.
well,
And that is.
yeah. King, you want to share a little bit too?
When Octavia brought up the opportunity, I thought that would be something good that we can do together as well as with other couples and being able to be a blessing. But at the same time, people can learn from us, but we can also learn from things from the other couples involved. And I've known from the time we've been married all the way up to now, I can think of countless people I know that have got married and that done been divorced from that time. And a lot of people are not willing to fight for those vows which we just talked about. As I say, struggling to keep the vows. Are you really in this marriage for the long run, long haul, or you just thinking? Because some people just look at the wedding and they think we done seen Cinderella and all these fairy tales and all these, and we just look at thinking everything's just gonna be a happy ending, but it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to go through things, but are you willing? Just like I say, if you willing to give these vows, are you willing to go through everything, through the good and the bad, the sickness and health? They'll do us apart. Are you really willing to go through that? And so I think that this will be a good experience for us, and well as others who will obtain the book themselves and be able to read it and look into it. And it can help them out in probably some different, because I know every different couple in the book, they have a different insight on something from their point of view. So it can be something that we can learn from everybody, and somebody else can read it and see something that they're going through, and light bulb might probably like, wow, they're probably going through the same. They're going through the same thing that I'm going through, and this is something I don't experience. Like, wow, I never thought about probably taking the approach this way, or probably if I would have did this at one time, did this instead of that. Conflict resolution and just working on being on one accord, because when we get married, we become one, and working on keeping ourselves as one collectively, and not being so that we break apart, that we end up being individually and collectively, because it's easy to happen. But like I say, you got to work. Like I say, your marriage is like a job, and you got to work on it. you got to put the work in 24/7.
Yes, you do. Now, see, there you have it. You have one of our co-authors that's really willing to share a little bit about the lives and also give you a little insight about the book, Struggling to Keep the Vows. This is why you must actually take the time to go out and register for our book launch. And that way, and get a copy of the book so you can get the defining moments from 10 different individuals, how they overcame the issues, the great divide in their marriages, to different stories, different perspectives. And that way you can really, how you say, get a perspective.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I thought I was going through something bad, and they went through something and they still survived.
Yeah, and this gives a lot of couples out there hope and inspiration, because you find too many times that couples are willing to throw in the towels at the first hint of adversity, or when there's some conflict in the marriage, and some of it simply because they don't know how. They don't have the tools and strategies, or it might be simply because of something that they witnessed when they were growing up, so that's all they knew how to do. But the goal of this project is to teach couples how to stay and to fight.
Yes.
And there's one disclaimer we always give. Now, if your life is in jeopardy or you're being abused, by all means, we're not encouraging you to stay.
Right.
But what we are encouraging for those that's not the case, to stay and fight. You're going to have to roll up your sleeves and do the hard work. Marriage is not an easy thing, but it's definitely worth it. You spent lots of time picking out the dress, the venue. You've poured hours into picking the right colors and everything. So you mean to tell me you won't spend that amount of time and more on willing to save it? That was one day. That was just a snippet of what your marriage is like. So once the lights are off and everyone's gone home, you've got to be willing to fight, because now life is really going to take place. And we want to encourage you, for those of you who feel like, you know what, I can't do it anymore. You're going to hear from couples who are in your shoes, who felt like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And then you will be able to see the tools and strategies that they use to be able to help to push forward. And we, as part of the collaborators on the book, are here to push you forward, to encourage you to, you know, even though you're struggling to keep your vows, divorce is not the only option out there. That should be like the very, very, very last option. Because when you're in a marriage and your relationship, you end that relationship, and guess what? You go into another relationship. Have you actually resolved those issues? That person is going to bring their own set of challenges. So guess what? It's going to be the same cycle. So you're going to have to be able to deal with those challenges head on. So we're just super excited.
So this Wednesday, September the 30th at 7 p.m., you can go ahead and register now. You got to have a registration. It's free, but get registered. Go to bit.ly/keep the vows. That's with the S. bit.ly/KEEPTHEVOWS.
Now, for Keene and Octavia, what is one piece of advice that you would like to offer to a couple who's out there listening to this broadcast and saying, you know what, I'm struggling and I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to stay or whether to leave. What is one piece of advice that each one of you would give to that couple?
Ladies first.
Oh goodness. I guess it depends on what area that you're really having your biggest struggle. But one for me, prayer. I always go to prayer. I do have a book. I believe in you should pray over your spouse daily, and there are different prayers called Power of the Praying Wife.
Yes.
And daily prayers that you can pray over your spouse. And I feel like in the like different areas as far as talk, purpose, their faith, their walk, all of that, different areas of their life. And if you cover them, I believe you should see some manifestation. If you go to God first, pray, and start praying over your spouse daily in different areas of their life. And then also pray on what areas of your life that you need to work on, that you need to change. And ask God to help you see your spouse the way He sees them, through His eyes of love, and hear what He's saying, and there, so on. That's pretty much what I would start with, is the prayer and praying on your spouse.
Oh, awesome. What about you, Keith?
Yeah, prayer also, definitely God, and humbleness, being willing to humble yourself to your spouse and be submissive when it is needed, and not letting pride, ego, and conflict stand in the way, as well as always having a good outlook. I mean, a good outlet you can go to, and be mindful of not letting any and everybody into definitely not letting any and everybody into your situation.
Okay.
And what you're going through, and always willing to have if you need to just have someone to talk. Always make sure it's a good person that you can talk to, that's going to give you good advice. Not nobody that's going to tell you anything. Because you definitely want to make sure it's a married person, for one, and that's what that's a good outlet. I'm trying to think of how to say this, but that's gonna encourage and inspire you,
Yeah.
and that want to see you win. That want to see you win and not get divorced and it's going to encourage you to fight for your marriage and not give up on it.
Okay.
Right, and they're gonna be transparent, not just gonna tell you what you want to hear, but they're gonna tell you what you need.
Yeah, what you need. Yeah, someone's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, to make you feel comfortable.
Exactly. Well, here you got it, everyone. This is where you get all of that super advice into struggling to keep the vow. And we are inviting you out to, again, we want to invite you out to the book launch. It is this Wednesday, September the 30th at 7 p.m. Remember, go ahead to bit.ly/KEEPTHEVOWS. And I know my ABCs.
Oh my goodness. With you. So for Keene and Octavia, I'm sure we've got listeners out there like, you know what, I like them. I can connect with their stories. I just want to chat with them. They might have questions. How would they get in contact with you guys?
Well, they can email me at octavia75hotmail.com.
And for myself, I can be reached at Keene.Tilman@gmail.com.
All right. So you guys heard it. If you want to stay connected with Octavia, it's Octavia75@hotmail.com. And for the guys, if you want to stay connected with Keene, it's Keene, KEANE.Tilman with 2 L's @gmail.com. So Keene and Octavia, we just want to thank you so much for joining us this evening on the broadcast. We want to thank you for being a part of this project, and we're so excited. And we just continue pray many more blessings over your marriage, and we're just super excited. We've got to stay in contact, and we're all looking forward to celebrating next Wednesday evening.
Hey, thank you for inviting us. And like I say, just seeing y'all are motivation and inspiration for us as well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. So remember, everyone, that you have to be the reason. Oh,
nope, the change.
You got to be the change that you want to see in your relationship. And until next time.